Welcome back to Designsmith. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Pathfinder tool to create these shapes in Adobe Illustrator. Before we get started, please consider subscribing to support the channel. Now, after this video, you'll be able to use a few of the techniques using the Pathfinder tool, but if you'd like to learn even more about it, check out this video right up here. Today, we're mostly going to be using the rectangle tool as well as the unite option in the Pathfinder. So the very first thing that I'm going to do with this poster is set the opacity to 50%, and then I'll just lock the layers by hitting Command or Control 2 on my keyboard. Doing this will help you lay down and align all of your elements properly. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. The first thing I'm going to do is just move my artboard right here. And in case you don't know, you can hold down your spacebar and bring up this little hand tool and move your mouse around. So I'm going to select black here, and we can change the color later, but I just want to lay down my shapes right here. And what we're going to do is draw a rectangle right here, and then I'm going to swap the fill and the stroke by hitting Shift X on my keyboard. And now I'm just going to bring this all the way over here to the side, and don't worry about this area right here because we'll use a different shape for that. So I'm going to swap over to my direct selection tool by hitting A on my keyboard, and we're going to drag over these two bottom anchor points. And with these circles right here, you can just grab those circles and then just pull this in right here. And because we had both of them selected, it does both sides. And just for the sake of consistency, I'm going to go up here to the corners and type in 0.3. That's an easy number to remember, and we can apply that same curvature to all of the corners. So I'm going to do the same thing for this corner right here, type in 0.3. And now I'm going to zoom into this area and bring up my rectangle tool again by hitting M on my keyboard. And we're going to draw a shape right up here. And again, switch over to our direct selection tool and select this upper right corner and type in 0.3. And this one is a little bit less of a curve, so we're going to do 0.15. And then how do we get this little curvature right here? Well, all we have to do is bring up our rectangle tool again and draw another shape. And now select this bottom right corner with our direct selection tool and type in 0.15. And it's a little bit less, so I'm going to divide that by 2. Okay, so now we have all of the foundations for this shape laid out. What we need to do is combine a couple of things and then also subtract one shape. So with our regular selection tool, I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to swap this over to a fill by hitting Shift and X, and now go to the Pathfinder and unite these together. And now I'm going to select this shape and swap the fill and the stroke. And now we need to draw just a general shape over this. It doesn't matter what it looks like. And now we're going to select all of these shapes and go over to divide. And now we're going to switch again to our direct selection tool and start selecting all of the shapes that we need to delete. So this one right here, we're just going to delete that. And then this one here, delete this. And now we can select all of these shapes and hit Unite. So there's not a lot of steps there, but this should give you a general idea of how the Pathfinder works. You can use it to add, subtract, and divide all kinds of different shapes. All right, so let's move on to the next shape right here. And I'm gonna do this one in sections. So we're gonna go all the way to the edge right here and then swap the fill and the stroke. We're gonna select this with our regular selection tool and then hit A on our keyboard, and that's gonna bring up our direct selection tool with all of those anchor points selected. And now we can go up to our corners and type in 0.3, and that applies it to all 4 corners. And now we're gonna go to our rectangle tool, and I'm gonna draw a shape that goes all the way down here, just like this cuts in. And now with my direct selection tool, I'm gonna select this corner, and we're going to type in 0.15. And now I'm going to grab another rectangle and draw one right here. Grab that top right corner and then type in 0.13 and draw one more rectangle right here. And we're going to manually adjust this one all the way down to here. So that's a little over 2 inches, so we'll just say 2.1, just to give ourselves a nice round number. Okay, and now I'm going to select all 3 of these, hold down Option or Alt on my keyboard, and drag this down here, so that these both have the same exact parameters. I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard and go right here to where this little rotation icon is, and then rotate this 180 degrees. And we'll just line this up right here. Hold down Shift. It's not exactly the same, but that's totally fine. All right, so now we're going to select all of these shapes. I'm going to swap back to a fill, and now I'm going to click on Divide. And now all we have to do is go in here and select the individual areas that need to be deleted. And sometimes you'll run into something like this. I'm trying to select this one shape right here with the direct selection tool. However, we didn't get a good overlap with our shapes. So what I'm going to do is select just this corner and hit delete. And then we just need to fill this back in. And then I'm going to select just this corner right here. And we'll do the same thing here. Just select that corner, hit delete, and then we'll fill in that area right there with the rectangle. And let's make sure that we line this up because that's where the problem came from in the first place. Okay, now we can select all of these, and you can see there's a lot of different areas that are making up this shape right here. And all we have to do is hit unite, and it combines everything together. Okay, this last piece right here is going to utilize this little teardrop or this water drop right here, and I'll show you exactly how to do that as well. So again, we'll just draw a rectangle over this whole shape, and we'll manually adjust these curves, and it's right at 1/2 inch, so we'll just type in that. All right, so now let's create this water drop, and we're going to use our ellipse tool to do that. So let's create a circle, and then I'm going to switch over to my direct selection tool and select just the top anchor point. I'm going to hold down shift while I do this. We're going to bring it up to about here, and then we can just adjust this afterward. So we're going to select the top anchor point, hold down Option or Alt, and just bring this down to right here, and then do the same thing to the other side. And then we'll select just those 2 anchor points with the direct selection tool, and then just kind of bring it up right here, and then we can adjust this size right here. This doesn't have to be exactly the same shape, but I just want to show you how to do this. And it looks like we accidentally deleted our rectangle right here, so we'll just recreate that. So now I'm going to make sure this water drop is directly centered inside the rectangle. So with our regular selection tool, we're going to select both shapes. And now I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and that's going to set a key object to align to. So I'm going to go over here to the Align panel and Align Horizontal Center and Align Vertical Center. So because this rectangle shape was the last one that we selected, that one is currently on top. However, we need the water drop to be on top for this next step. So I'm going to select the water drop, go up here to Object, Arrange, and Bring to Front. And now we're going to subtract this water drop shape from the rectangle. So let's select both shapes and click on Minus Front. And as you can see, that shape has been subtracted or minus fronted from that shape. And that was a good combination of techniques using the Pathfinder tool that you can utilize in your own projects. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I taught you something in Illustrator today. If you wouldn't mind, please consider subscribing to support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.